Tom Brady is undoubtedly the best QB to ever play the game. His football IQ, pocket presence, throwing power, and just overall accuracy is unmatched. But when you have a QB like Tom Brady on your offense, you can do a lot of cool and unique things on the offensive side of the ball. So I made an explosive Madden scheme taking all of Tom Brady's go-to plays on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots. So let's get right into it. So for this scheme, I am in the New England Patriots offensive playbook. And the first play we're gonna go over is called Toss Y Juke out of the empty base flex formation. Now this is one of Tom Brady's favorite plays on the New England Patriots, which he also brought to Tampa Bay. And it has a lot to do with the slot receiver, which is one of Tom Brady's favorite positions to throw to. On the Patriots, Julian Edelman was one of Tom Brady's favorite people to throw to, and he played the slot position. Over Tom Brady's and Julian Edelman's career, they combined for over 6,000 passing yards and 41 total touchdowns. And some of those yards came from this play, Toss Y Juke. Toss Y Juke is a play where there's 4 option routes ran by 4 receivers, with the outside receivers either running a go or a hitch, the weak side slot either running a go or turning it into a post, depending on if there's a safety in the middle of the field, and then we have the inside receiver, who in Madden is the tight end, but in real life they always put Julian Edelman in that position. His route varies depending on the linebacker's leverage. He could either break it inside, outside, or just stay in a spot that's open in his zone. Now with the hitch routes or the vertical routes on the outside, if the defense is pressing, then they will turn that route into a go. But if the corners are off coverage, they will simply run a 5-yard hitch. Now in this play here, the Saints are playing off coverage with their outside corner. So the receivers and the quarterback are on the same page, and the wide receivers run a 5-yard hitch instead of a go for an easy 5-yard gain. Now in this play, the inside receiver decided to run inside based off the leverage that the defense was giving him. But you can see in this play that there's so many option routes, and it's very hard to defend because there's so many different things that the receivers can do, and we're bringing that into Madden as well. In Madden, this play works best against cover 3 or man. Against cover 3, you will have the ability to throw to the seam routes and the 5-yard hitching. But you'll see that the tight end on this option route can also be open. In a man defense, you can take a glance to see if the outside receivers have any chance of beating the corners 1v1 on the vertical route. But if not, your next read should be the inside seam vertical routes. These seam routes are very deadly against man, especially because the one on the weak side can change it into a post route in the middle of the field. So all of these option routes are deadly, and you can see why Tom Brady loved this play. The next play is pretty basic, but works like a charm. It is 4 verts out of the spread Y slot formation. Now, although your goal in this play is to hit the deep ball, this is also extremely good for the running back. And Tom Brady has always loved his running back. And this is actually a play that the Patriots ran a lot to get the running back in a one-on-one situation in the passing game. One of Tom Brady's favorite running back weapons was James White, who he actually threw 24 touchdowns to in their career. Now in this play, you obviously have 4 verticals, with the slot receiver having a choice route to turn it into a post. And then the running back has a choice route where he can either cut to the right or left or stay where he is. So in this play, Tom Brady knew that the defense was in man coverage, so they decided to run 4 verticals. But these 4 verticals actually acted as clearing routes to get the running back in space. Now in Madden, if your opponent is playing a lot of man, this will work just like the clip I just showed you. So here we have 4 verticals where the 4 verticals are just acting as a clearing route. And it leaves the running back in space against a linebacker for a great gain. And if you're near the red zone like that play that I showed you, this could even be a touchdown to the running back. But if you feel that you have receivers that can win one-on-one matchups, you definitely need to look down the field for the seam routes and the seam route that could turn it into a post. If there are no safeties in the middle of the field, that route will turn into a post. But if there is a safety in the middle of the field, he'll just continue to run straight. Now the next play we're gonna go over is called PA shot wheel out of the trips tight end formation. Now the goal of this play is to try to run a pick route for the wheel play by the inside receiver, just like you see here with the Patriots. Now instead of running the spacing route or the pick route that they did in real life, you can put that inside receiver or the slot receiver on a slant or just run this play base. Now against man defense, I would honestly look for the crossing routes first, because pick plays don't often happen in Madden, but when it does, it could be very effective. But against zone defense, this wheel route will be open for a good couple of yards. The two crossing routes are able to occupy the zones within that area, and that leads to that wheel route being open, but make sure to throw it quick before the underneath zones cut off that route. Now the next play we're going to go over is the PA slot corner out of the trips tight end formation. Now this play is great against man or zone, with two corner routes ran by the tight end and the inside receiver, a post route by the slot, and a drag route by the outside receiver. There is a lot of routes that the defense needs to be wary of. For this play, if the defense is in a man press, you can put the slot receiver on a post on a go route and see if he can win the one-on-one matchup. When Tom Brady was on the Bucs, a lot of the offense was putting their best players in one-on-one situations, and that's what this play could potentially do, just like you see here with Julio Jones. You can also run this play base, let the play develop, sit in the pocket, and throw absolute darts. And if your opponent continues to play zone defense against this type of offense, you will be able to pick that defense apart. The next play we're going to go over is PA deep out of the doubles Y flex formation. Now this play and the setup I'm about to show you is primarily a two-man beating concept. Now this play is a variation of the flat 7 corner play that the Patriots used with Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. What you're going to do is motion the outside receiver opposite of the post side to the post side. Now his out route turns into a dig route. Now you can keep that route, or for better spacing, you can put him on a 5-yard end. And then I put the outside receiver on the trip side on a go, so the safety needs to guard 2 routes. And against 2-man, the parts that are open on the field is the deep middle because it's 2 deep safeties and no one in the middle of the field. So because of that, your primary read is this post route going to the middle of the field. And when I snap the ball, you can see that the user is occupied with the 2 crossing routes underneath. That leaves the post in the middle of the field wide open. And something to notice here is that the go route by Mike Evans makes the safety take a couple of steps away from the middle of the field, which ultimately leaves the middle of the field more open than before. Now, besides running backs and slot receivers, there's one more thing that Tom Brady absolutely loves, and it is his tight ends. Throughout Brady's and Gronk's career, they accumulated 620 catches, over 9,000 yards, and over 90 touchdowns. So let's add some more tight end routes. This play is called Pat Slot Out in the Y off trips patch formation. Now in this play, I put the slot receiver on a slant to occupy the underneath zones to try to hit the tight end or the outside receiver over the top. The tight end and the outside receiver are running posts, and I also put the running back on a 5-yard out just in case I needed a check down. In this play, you can see that the user decided to run with the slant route, which ultimately led to an open window to this tight end. And that's what this scheme can do to your opponent. It leads to open windows and letting your best players win one-on-one matchups. But now let's talk about goal line situations and what we can do on the goal line in this scheme. On the goal line, I want to get our tight ends involved along with our best receivers. But one play that we will be emulating from the Bucs and the Patriots with Tom Brady is the fake blocking by the tight end into a vertical. You can see here that Rob Gronkowski blocks for 1 to 2 seconds and then goes out into a vertical for a big gain. Now in Madden, we're going to do this on the goal line. We will be in the 4 verticals play under the wing flex weak formation. For this play, I like putting the outside tight end on the check and release route. And all you have to do is go up on the right stick to put that route on that tight end. And I'll keep that inside tight end on a go to clear out some space for the other route. And although the tight end here is our main read, you can also put a slant and a zig concept on the back side. But you can see that I didn't have to worry about it because here, the defense was playing a zone, and after the tight end blocked for a second, he found an open window for an easy touchdown. But that's not the only goal line play I have for you. If you watched any of the Tampa Bay Bucs with Tom Brady, you saw a lot of this. So it's time to let Mike Evans eat in the red zone on Madden. Now there is no specific player formation I have for you, but one thing that you must do is find a formation to put Mike Evans on the single receiver side. So in this play, Mike Evans is the single receiver on the left side. I saw a safety to the right of Mike Evans, so I didn't know if I would have enough time to throw a fade route. So I decided to put a zig on Mike Evans to go away from that player. And you can see that the zones had a tough time getting to that zig route for an easy touchdown to Mike Evans. But in this play, my opponent made a huge mistake, leaving Mike Evans 1v1 with no one near him. He is isolated. And now you can guess what happens next. I'm gonna run a fade route and Mike Evans is going to moss the heck out of my opponent. But once you do this, the one tip I have for you is to hold L1 or LB to throw a high ball. This is integral if you want to throw any type of fade route or even a deep ball to any one-on-one matchup. And that is the first part of this Tom Brady scheme, which was all passing. The second part will be the run scheme and play action. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think and like for part 2. See you later.